Hello guys, I want to explain the script that I posted yesterday. I mean the recipe I made yesterday. So, what is a recipe for you who are beginners? Maybe if you are advanced, I'm gonna put some timestamps to the topics. A recipe is a programming application interface that talks about that speech to other systems like front-end systems on other REST APIs or maybe some messaging systems like Kafka or RabbitMQ or all that kind of stuff. It can subscribe, it can send webhooks, it can make authentication. It has a lot of functionality, and the main benefit is that it's stateless. So the client doesn't have to know anything about the server, and vice versa. So in this REST API, I use FastAPI because it's a very beginner-friendly framework because it's easy to learn, fast to code, and ready to production. Also, it's enjoyable and it can embrace both kind of programming, functional programming and object-oriented programming. So in this example, I use functional programming with decorators, and I think this approach is not cleaner, but it's faster to code and get things done quickly. But there also can be I found a PyPi package that is called Classy FastAPI that is also based on classes, constructs, Dunder methods, and also all that kind of object-oriented programming, inheritance, and also polymorphism for different, for example, kind of dependencies injected on different objects, for example, in the user controller, and also it embraces this kind of architecture of the controller, the service or provider, and the module that is also used by Nest.js, a very good and very well architected Node.js TypeScript framework, and also the advantage that I find in FastAPI is that it can integrate with machine learning and AI and data analytics, big data projects very quickly because the main tools in this kind of projects are Python based. I know that TypeScript is very strong right now, but Python is like the programming language of AI, right? So I think that that's enough talk about FastAPI. There's another package that I use is Beautiful Soup. It's very straightforward package that parses HTML with a parser. I chose LXML because it's the lightweight parser that allows very quick and very precise identifier of the DOM and all the elements and the tags and the others of each of the components of the web page. So that's for BS4. And for HTTP is a very good choice because it's quite a bundle, but it's of course better than requests. Why? Because it's asynchronous, and FastAPI is an asynchronous gateway interface. So what's the difference, for example, between FastAPI and Flask and Django? The advantage is that FastAPI is asynchronous by default, and Flask and Django are synchronous, but you have to install extra tooling, extra plugins to make it asynchronous. And you know that asynchronous and concurrent programming is quite an impact into performance, and it also impacts the concurrency and the resources that you consume on the backend. You can lower your bills of cloud and a lot of advantage, but it also embraces a new paradigm of programming because you have to do this kind of stuff. For example, async function, you do an async context manager, and then you an async context manager, and then you await a coroutine that it's handled by that context manager object. So it's a different approach. It's very much verbose functions in in detriment of sorry, in benefit of the performance. So that's for AOSTTP, and that's it. I want, for example, want to show you one snippet that, for example, you want to search a package in this API. I put a placeholder here, hello world for the root directory, and also nothing else. And I can do still this. I added some roots, some boilerplate because I want to this be more well architected. And so let's use the docs to to check this in order to don't get wrong with this kind of stuff. For example, API search, for example, because I'm gonna use it for installing packages on a custom project that I'm gonna develop. So let's check that. Oh, this is the API and this is the search, right? It's the same. It's the same. The schema prints it twice. So it's okay. Here let's put for example I don't know, a single, and we can check the results, right? And there is like 20 results that is allowed by default. But let's take this one step further. One step further is abusing of that. So I prepared this snippet of code. Here you have the size of the bundle that you want to, the JSON that you want to download, and scan. I call this function scan because you insert the package and you either over all the pages of the query search that you made on the HTML website, and in that case, in request library, for example, it will wait until the request is fulfilled. But in AOSTTP, the difference is that AOSTTP sends it asynchronously. So it sends all the requests at one shot, and afterwards it it catches all the responses with a method called getter that is called here. So there is a queue of tasks with all the coroutines that are um, manufactured by the method pip search, and uh, in you check the size range, the size longitude, and you do the stuff. You call asyncio the runtime for the event loop, and you gather all these tasks. So let's check how this works. And let's check, for example, with this is a JSON. Actually, let's print the length. No, no, no. Okay, let's just check all the pages. I don't want to sing right now. I just want to explain you. So right now, let's just run this on the console here. So let's refresh this, and here we have this endpoint, right? And in this endpoint, we can put the package. For example, I don't know, Django, that is a very well-known package that I don't like. And the size that, for example, we can put 20 pages of PyPi. We execute this, we wait a little, not that much, and we got a response in less than 5 seconds. And check the payload of the response. It's a lot of information. Actually, let's just copy this or download this, check this payload, and this payload, it has 2000 rows. And the payload for the, for example, one, it's 20, right? 20. No, not 20. The payload is actually less, but let's check. Let's copy this, and it's only 100. And what is the difference? In 100, it took like half a second, and in 2000, it took 5 seconds. So it's like a lot of performance improving. So it's very important nowadays that fast is no longer an option. It's a must to do asynchronous programming. So I I let you know, guys, to just go into it. It's not that hard. You just have to figure out. So that's it for the explanation. See you.